Yo, Comic Cat's back. And happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to who? Whose birthday is it?
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Over 200 years.
Mary Shelley.
The best.
The best. I mean, like, when was Frankenstein written?
1816.
1816, so it's more than 200 years old. You ever read a 200-year-old book? Like, what other books you reading that are 200? Maybe some Shakespeare, but those are plays. They're not books. So Mary Shelley basically invented science fiction, I think, right?
Guess so.
200 years ago. So, I don't know. How are we going to get into this? We love Frankenstein. Ever since we were little.
Did.
Yeah.
Man, there's no way.
Yeah,
You have to zoom into it because it's dark over there.
Oh. That's me and Steve when we were little kids, and I'm dressed up like Frankenstein and he's dressed up like Wolfman. I don't know if that's showing up, but we love Frankenstein.
And don't give us no shit about this Frankenstein monster stuff.
Yeah, well, like sometimes you say Frankenstein, and someone's like, "Are you talking about the doctor,
The fiend?
or the wretch, or the monster?" Yo, I hate when people do that because who created Frankenstein? The monster. Who created the monster? Frankenstein. The monster refers to Frankenstein as his creator, his father. He even references God. So if your creator or your father has the last name Frankenstein, what's your last name gonna end up being? Probably Frankenstein, right? What else would it be?
So get over it, guys.
Yeah, get over it. If someone says something about, "Oh, I like Frankenstein," "Oh, you talking about the monster or the doctor?" Fuck you. Same difference, man. And it's too long, and I hate when people do that. Anyway, so what did we want to do this video for?
Well, I mean, I guess you were thinking about it. Cause we got this one.
Because I got a Japanese mango, my first Japanese mango that I ever got, and it was tricky to figure out, like look, it opens this way. Does it open this way? So you have to read it backwards. Ooh. You have to read it backwards, but I don't know, I was pretty excited to just read some stuff about Frankenstein, since I love Frankenstein. And I'm not going to talk too much about this, but I'll just show you, like, the way they represent Frankenstein. Because, I mean, maybe not that many people know, but, like, this version of Frankenstein, the Boris Karloff version, that's, like, a version that's owned by Universal. But it's not really representative of how Frankenstein, the monster, necessarily looks. Like, they describe him with luscious long black hair and yellow skin, and he's got, well, it was black and white, but I don't know how they make that green. It was a black and white movie. I guess the posters, right? They must have painted the posters green. But anyway, here's like a Junji Ito version in this cloak. So that's not necessarily how he looks, but I flip the page over here. Oh man. Sorry.
Reading it backwards again.
Yeah, oh, that is what it is. I'm reading it the wrong way because I'm. So yeah, here. Reading it the wrong way. So yeah, like up here, it's a pretty good version. It's really disgusting looking. And I guess they do talk about, like, the revulsion people would feel when...
Yep.
Looks pretty good.
Yep. Sunken eyes, black lips.
And pearly white teeth.
Yeah, he's supposed to. They're kind of kind of nasty in this one, honestly.
Yeah, he's supposed to have pearly white teeth. But then, this here, I don't know how many people of you guys like Bernie Wrightson, but I read Frankenstein in university, and I was like, you know, you get to choose what kind of books you want to read, and I'm like, well, how many do you get to read about a monster? Might as well read that, and it ended up becoming one of my favorite books. But then with comics, I found this version of Frankenstein that Bernie Wrightson illustrated, and it's a pretty nice book. He has a different interpretation of the monster Frankenstein. But this is, yeah, here. Oh, this is tricky. Oh. Yeah, like Bernie Wrightson's a master, obviously, but he draws Frankenstein without a nose. He's more kind of rotted. But I kind of think his is more true than the Boris Karloff. I don't know if Mary Shelley ever said anything about him not having a nose.
No, I don't think so.
But, you know, just add some shit, but look at that. Look at how, see, so it's like a book, right? You just flip through like a regular book, but then you see Bernie Wrightson. Beautiful art. Almost every few pages, Bernie Wrightson. Alright, so I guess we'll just talk about some of the different interpretations of Frankenstein that we've enjoyed over the years, which is pretty much all of them, I guess, because we just like Frankenstein so much. But what do we got?
Well, I mean, obviously there was the book, you know, we don't have to show you that, but
The original.
then, you know, this is what everyone grows up with, I guess.
The classic image of Frankenstein.
Yeah, this guy right here. If it's showing okay.
And one thing that you gotta realize is Edison, Charles Edison, is that his name? Thomas Edison. Yeah, Thomas Edison. He made the first film version of Frankenstein. And I think that might be how electricity got tied into Frankenstein so much. Because when you read the novel,
So long ago.
it's so long ago, man. They probably had like whale fat lamps back then. It's like 200 years ago. I don't know. The original novel doesn't have all this electricity shit. It's really vague about how Frankenstein even gets made. The monster.
How he brings him back.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you know, there's some kind of mention of chemicals and stuff, but not. It's a real brief description.
I mean, that's what's so good about Mary Shelley, because like even like 200 years ago, she had an idea, but there wasn't even the science.
Yeah.
She basically invented some stuff. I mean, because what do they? Not that she put the electricity, but they do shock your heart. So what else we got? Tim Burton. Frankenweenie.
Yeah, I mean, that's the new one, but there was always that old Frankenweenie.
Yeah, where did that come out? When it was like some half an hour live action version of Frankenweenie. It had Daniel Stern.
Yeah.
And the kid from the Never-Ending Story. But I don't remember, like, what did it come with? I remember there was like a certain Tim Burton movie that came out and it said, oh, it has Frankenweenie at the beginning. What was
Maybe
it?
like Nightmare Before. I mean,
Yeah,
crazy.
maybe.
It's not even his, but it might be Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know, but... And then here's a one maybe not everyone
A
has
little
seen.
deeper dive.
Frankenhooker.
True to the original story, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frankenhooker. That's Hen and Lauder.
What's the Bill Murray quote on the cover? Bill Murray. The quote on the cover is usually by Roger Ebert, but this one's by Bill Murray.
Well, if you only see one movie this year, it should be Frankenhooker.
And we
Bill
all
Murray.
know, yeah, Bill Murray's got good taste. I'll recommend that movie, and I recommend all Basket Case. I recommend Brain Damage.
Yeah.
All of them. I recommend Basket Case and Brain Damage before Frankenhooker, but still,
It's a good trilogy.
if you want to watch a movie for Mary Shelley's 300th birthday or whatever it is, Frankenhooker, you could do worse. And then what else we got?
Monster Squad.
Bogus. Bogus. Yeah, that was Tom Noonan playing the monster. And he is a good actor. He's not in that many movies, but he played the original Francis Dollarhide in, the Hannibal Lecter shit. He was the original when Anthony Hopkins wasn't even Hannibal Lecter yet. It was Brian Cox from Super Troopers and X-Men 2. He was Hannibal Lecter, and Tom Noonan was thing. Okay, what else we got to show? I guess
All kinds of stuff.
they just announced. Here is one of my favorite adaptations of Frankenstein, and I guess they just announced that the Wachowskis are doing a new Matrix, right?
They did.
Yeah. Well, at least one of the sisters is doing a new Matrix. But I wish, instead of doing the Matrix, they wouldn't waste their time and they would do Doc Frankenstein.
The true sequel to Frankenstein.
Yeah. So this idea was like a comic where Frankenstein, the monster, actually becomes a doctor. Because he's smart. And it's not like the monster's dumb. He's in the movies, he's kind of like,
Yeah, big boots.
but in the book, he reads books. He understands. He reads Paradise Lost.
You didn't bring that up, I guess.
Oh, yeah, we didn't bring it up, but he reads Paradise Lost, and I don't know if you read Paradise Lost, but it's about like kind of like the devil and him corrupting Adam and Eve. But Frankenstein, the monster identifies with the devil,
Yeah.
and that's why he's so identifiable. Because most people actually probably, if they read the Bible, they'd be like, the devil seems like the character that a human could identify. You can't identify with God. But this Doc Frankenstein series by the Wachowskis, I wish they would turn this into a movie. So he becomes a doctor, and then he kind of becomes almost like an Xavier from X-Men. He builds a whole country for the outcast. The outcasts of the world, since that's what he is. And they never finished it. It just ended. It got up
It
to...
ended poorly, too.
Yeah, the worst issue came out, and then it just never, ever came out again. But the first issues, except for the last one, were really good. And then it just ended. And then, oh, shit. So, I guess we got some... Here's just another Bernie Wrights in Frankenstein. I guess Frankenstein was in Swamp Thing. For some reason, the monster was in Swamp Thing. Here's just a couple of more classic Swamp Things. It has nothing to do with Frankenstein, but that one has pitchforks and
this one's got Batman.
And this one's got Batman.
Definitely what Mary Shelley was hoping for. But even we're so far off topic right now.
Yeah, but you should just show off your paintings of Frankenstein, and then we'll call it a day.
Alright, well, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, always love this Frankenstein character. He asks all the questions, and that a guy's gotta ask himself, living his life. And then I did this drawing of him. I really liked the idea that, he wasn't dumb. He could use guns. He rides around on a sled with dogs. Like Frankenstein, his monster.
Yeah, they really dumbed him down.
Yeah, man, he's the hero, and he's like what every guy's got to ask himself. The questions they got to ask themselves. Living this life. Why are we born? What's the purpose? And then, I don't know, there's this I like playing with the idea of him with the guns and wrapped up in some furs. I did throw in that windmill back there, just like the same idea with the electricity, windmills. It's all connected to Frankenstein forever now.
So just leave that up. And then we'll just say...
What, happy birthday?
Well, I would just say that I think Frankenstein is more identifiable and understandable than Jesus Christ. And I think they should make a new religion where the Frankenstein monster is the new Jesus Christ. He's the electric Jesus. Frankenstein, as Mel Brooks would say. And I think people would identify with this more. They're all... Not that Mary Shelley put that electricity in, but people on their phones, people all electric now, man. They're all distracted. They need the monster. Teach them what's important, man. All that guy wanted was a bride. He just, like, he said to the doctor, he said, even Adam had an Eve. You just created me, like, what am I supposed to do, jack off for the rest of my life?
He did say all that.
Yeah. And it's sad, man. Imagine that. Alright, well, this is a new kind of video, and it might be crazy, it might be wild, it might be boring, but we just wanted to show you some different kind of stuff. Alright, so, Comic Cats, happy birthday, Mary Shelley.
220 never look so...
Yeah.
Gross.